Welcome back. We have the president of the Kamloops-Thompson Teachers Association joining us on the show today. Jason Karpuk, great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, busy days for you.
Very busy lately.
Yes, you've just gotten off the phone call to start with the most recent information with all of the other union presidents around the province, and you've got some new information. Yeah,
we have the LRB ruling that came out this morning. We got clarification on that. So the provincial exams for grade 12 will go ahead. They are to be invigilated by the school board to the best of their ability. So if there is need, teachers have been told by the Labour Board that they will have to cover in those areas where there's a shortage. The marking of those exams is not part of the ruling. That is actually going to fall to the administrators to mark. As far as the ruling on report cards, we will be providing report card marks for grade 12. There was no ruling on the other part of it, which was 10 and 11, which was before the LRB. There was nothing brought by the employer regarding K to 9. So essentially at this point, there will be no report cards for K through 11. Only marks provided for grade 12.
Wow, so no report cards going out for kindergarten through grade 11 for the end of the school year. That's new information for sure. Also, we should talk about the fact that today could very likely be, excuse me, the last day of school for kids.
It could be very likely the last day. We will be on a study session on Monday. We will be engaged in full strike on Tuesday as we've served the 72-hour strike notice. I did want to follow up on the report cards. One of the reasons that the report cards are not coming out is because of the lockout in terms of it was not found to be practical for teachers to have to produce these report cards in the limited time frame that the employer had given us within their lockout. And then so that was one of the things that went into the ruling and what came out of that. So we're very hopeful that it won't be the last day, but at the same time, we've voted to escalate job action, and we feel the pressure needs to be put on the table, and we're hopeful that that will result in a deal before we do have to engage in the full walkout.
86% of teachers in this province voted to go to full strike action, and yes, they're in that position to do so on Tuesday if an agreement can't be reached over the weekend. Jason, do you feel hopeful there is some wiggle room here that we might see something happen?
I'm very hopeful. I always have to remain optimistic, and I think teachers by their nature are optimistic, and there's enough time between now and Tuesday for a strike to be averted. We're hoping that the parties will sit down and bargain hard over the weekend and that we can get a deal done. We saw it done with CUPE in 5 days, and we're hopeful that the same thing can happen here. It's just a matter of both sides being willing to move a little bit, and there has been some indication that we are willing to move, and we're hopefully we'll see the government move as well. And that's really what it takes, is both sides have to come together and find that common ground.
What are the biggest stumbling blocks from the teacher side?
Class size and composition is still a big part of it. There is, we need an influx of money in the classroom. We need changes to happen. We've won in the courts, and here we are waiting an appeal. Again, it's not going to be heard till October. And for teachers, that is the big thing. There needs to be the supports. The students have gone long enough, as it was stated. To me, you know, it's like wait times in medicine. We need to get those wait times for kids to get assessed and supported down to a reasonable amount of time, because the longer it's left where they don't get the support, the more that we have to spend to try and correct those issues.
Okay. For people who want more information, of course, we have the website for KTTA.ca, Kamloops-Thompson Teachers Association, on the screen. Is there any other nuggets of information that you can share right now with the teachers, the parents that are at home, just wondering how things are going to go, where they can go to find out if there's any changes?
The most up-to-date changes are going to be on the BCTF website, okay. bctf.ca or bcpc.ca. That's where the information is going to come first. Our website's a little bit out of date. I maintain it, and it's not been a lot of time to do that lately, so it is out of date. I wouldn't recommend that. Okay. I would recommend the BCTF website or a fairdeal.ca, which is where we have information out about what we're looking for and why.
No doubt, upping the ante like this with the teachers, you guys are hoping it's going to push the government into being a little bit more willing to make some changes to the current contract, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, We hear a lot from the minister that they want to negotiate, they want a contract. Well, here's an opportunity to avoid a strike over the next couple of days, to sit down and do some hard bargaining. And it means that when you're doing hard bargaining, tough decisions have to be made. And sometimes that means you got to plug your nose and do it. And that's really what needs to happen for a deal to get done.
We're out of time, but I do have one last question. Perhaps if we say that we do see the strike start in full-fledged action on Tuesday, and then we're into summer holidays 2 weeks later, will both sides continue to negotiate through the summer, or could we see this continue into the new school year?
There hasn't been really contemplation. Both sides have said that they'd be willing to negotiate in the summer. Right now, we're focusing on the next couple days and really pushing hard to get both groups at the table and have that deal done, so that we don't even have to consider what happens. And that come September, it's going to be labor peace, and we're going to have a deal that we can work with, and we don't have to follow through with this for another couple of weeks.
Typically in the past, though, have contract talks when if there's a situation like this, have they gone on through the summer, or is that usually a break?
Typically they haven't, but in the last couple rounds, we've had deals done in the last minute in June. So we're hoping again that something will happen. So
okay, so bctf.ca is the place to go for the latest information.
Yes, it's the best place to go.
Okay, bctf.ca, and thank you very much to the downstairs for putting that on the screen for me, Jason. I appreciate you being here. I know how busy you are, and we'll look forward to hopefully seeing something more come out of this on the weekend.
Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.